welcome to the Lighten Up podcast with Lauren Polly, your invitation for living on the lighter side of life. I'm Lauren Polly, and I am delighted you have chosen to join me today for episode 176, Getting Clarity. This is a huge topic for so many of us. Clarity seems like the ungettable get. It's the one thing we're constantly seeking, whether we know it or not, or whether we call it something different, or we call it clarity. And it just seems like we search and we search and we search for it. And unfortunately, as we're searching for it, we don't allow ourselves just to move forward or move ahead. It's almost like standing on a cliff very trepidatiously with your with your binoculars on, searching the terrain for the big aha, the light in the distance, the magic bullet, whatever you want to say. And until you actually see it, either from far away or close up, you can't move forward because you don't know where you're going, quote unquote. So it's kind of a fascinating phenomenon. We're taught that if we don't know where we're headed, then we must not be headed anywhere. And that is just not true. I know so many of you out there are looking to blaze a new trail for yourself and really jump tracks to a greater future. Perhaps you're looking at this from the vantage point of wanting to change something that's not working in your life, or perhaps you're wanting to change something just to have a greater possibility in that area. Money, business, relationships, your body health, your health with yourself, what have you. Some of you also may be looking at this from a creative vantage point, where you're not really looking at changing something that is, you're looking at actually creating something new and something different. Neither of those are wrong. They're both just different vantage points that we take throughout our life in order to kind of move ourselves ahead or in a different direction. With both of those, you may fall into this pitfall, though, where you are looking to change something or you're looking to create something, and because you can't see the magical trail laid in front of you, all nice and shiny and well planned out, you just don't move. This can feel like a variety of different things. It can feel like confusion. It can feel like stagnation. It can feel like being stuck. It can feel like being in maintenance mode where you're just kind of so busy doing all this other stuff in your life that you don't really have the bandwidth to start experimenting or playing or creating something different. In essence, you distract yourself from the creative conversations of your life. And in doing so, you just kind of maintain the status quo. It's kind of a way that we trick ourselves into settling for what is instead of actually going for what we desire to be. And I would love to just offer you some tools and some perspective shifts to be able to actually change that. This is one of the greatest joys of my life, to actually do it constantly in my own living, breathing environment and beautiful living that I embody. I've done this on the mental health front with changing a diagnosis. I've done this career-wise with not only changing careers and adding in different careers, but actually remaking the career that I have to make it bigger and better and actually propel myself forward. I've also done this in personal relationships, relationships with my body as well. I know all of you listening probably have done this before too. I'm wondering if you're actually acknowledging it. So perhaps let's start there. Could you actually look at where you have actually moved ahead in some way, where you've either changed something that wasn't working into something that would work, or where you allowed yourself to actually create something new and different? And again, it can be a little thing. It doesn't have to be like, wow, I launched this huge big business. It could be, you know what, I changed the relationship with myself. I eased the relationship with my body. I had a money issue. And I'm not like thriving with money yet, but I did change it a little bit where I'm not overtly struggling anymore. Allow yourself to actually see where you have moved and changed and created something new. And now that you kind of have that thing, retroflect back on it. Was it that you were standing on that cliff and you saw the clearly laid path before you and charged ahead, knowing where you were headed? Or was it more of a play? Was it more of an experiment? Was it more of a demand in your world of, I actually require something different here? And in order to do that, I have to do something different. And I don't really know what that different thing is. All I know is right now in this moment, I need to make some different choices. And this is the magical thing when you're actually allowing yourself to choose something different, even if it looks like a small thing, you're moving yourself in a new direction. It feels sometimes undirectional because, again, you don't have that clearly laid path. You may not know what you want to create. You may not know how to change what it is you want to change. You also may not even know that. You just want something different and you're not quite sure what to do to bring that about. But what if you didn't have to? Just like you probably have done before, where life got shifted for you based on the choices you were making and based on actually opening up to new information, new perspectives, new support in order to guide you there. It's a fascinating thing and it's a fascinating phenomenon. We really truly believe that being clear and getting clarity means the definition. It means the end game. It means I can look ahead and go, this is exactly what I'm creating. I'm going to reverse engineer everything to be able to work my way towards that. Oh, that's not really how life works. That's definitely not how creation works. It's not a linear path. Sometimes it is more meandering. It looks like you're going nowhere. But the fact that you're actually moving, you're allowing your energy to move, you're allowing your body to move, you're allowing new information into your space, new people to come to play, you're shaking things up a bit. You're looking at things from a different perspective. All of that is a movability in your life to be able to lead you forward with more clarity and more ease. What if the clarity piece was way more about trusting that? Trusting the fact that your choices, your willingness to just try something different and open up to something new was actually what was making things easier. Not the clarity, quote unquote, in the definition sense, where I know where I'm going and this is what has to get done. You may have light bulb moments like that. That's awesome if you do. But for the most part, what we choose to create and move forward with in our life, it's actually this other thing. It's actually just the trust in the experiment and the play and the openness and the putting yourself in the way of possibilities that actually leads you forward. So, wherever you've allowed yourself to kind of get twisted into thinking clarity is a definition, is knowing the end game, is having a clearly laid path, and if you don't have that, you can't actually move forward. Will you allow that point of view, that structure, that significance, and all of the energy you use to just seek and seek and seek and seek that? Would you allow that to unwind, recalibrate, and actually be here for you to create with, for you to play with, and for you to come into this kind of live experiment that your life could be? It's a very different way to look at things. The things that I've changed in my life, some of them, like getting a career or going to graduate school, that was a very definite laid out path. That was, oh, I want to be this thing. Here's the education that's required. Here's the school that I'm going to go to. That was a very linear choice. You may have some like that. Me developing my business was born basically from a love first of yoga and meditation. Me diving in deeper, wanting greater relief for me, my body, my mind. And that trail that I started to blaze just in myself evolved after more discovery, meeting new people, and experimenting more into a career. I started becoming a teacher, and from there I got opened up to a whole new world of different practices, different energetic tools, and I again dove in because I started noticing relief. There was a lightness there was a pop of interest. I leaned in, so to speak, and as I did, my career developed into that. It's kind of a fascinating thing. There wasn't something I was trying to change overtly. I was just wanting a lighter life and something that was actually more delicious to be embodied with. Through my discovery, my willingness to try new things and put myself out there, allow information in, it gave me the nuggets, it gave me the stepping stones to actually lead my life forward. And this is something I've seen time and time and time again with my clients in my coaching business. It's when you are looking for that definition, when you're looking for the end game, because you probably had one or two like that, like I did with my technical speech therapy career. You're looking for that to come again. And when you're trying to create change in your life, a change in your personal relationships, A change in your money, a new business venture, or a creative pursuit, you may be getting a bit stuck because you're expecting that same definition and defined path to come. What if instead you could just allow yourself to trust in the process? Open, receive the information, and start actually choosing something different to open you up to new support, new arenas, new information, and use it kind of like a live lab, a live experiment. That's something that's super interesting. It's also something super different than I've engaged with before. I'm going to lean in a little bit and just explore and see what that choice actually opens for you. What that curiosity creates, who knows? You don't know going into it, but it's amazing how those choices in your life can start to come together to actually lead you in a whole different direction. If it wasn't about fixing something, if it wasn't that there was something wrong, there was just the desire for something greater. And there also wasn't a rush to create it with the crazy timelines that we put on everything. There isn't a desperate need for it, but there was a lightness of play, of curiosity and wonderment. What would be different with your life creation? And how could that bleed over to your mental wellness, your space with yourself, your confidence and comfort in your own skin? And how could that then lead over to how you're leading your life, your finances, your domesticity, all of those areas of your life getting greater, and how that can then bleed over into your body being healthier and happier? All of these things play together. And I know we like to take it topic by topic, but in the whole, in the picture, if you're really willing to actually play with choosing things differently, opening yourself up for more, and letting yourself just meander down that path, being committed in such a way that you're open for receiving that and you're open to playing, not necessarily committed to this is what I'm going to create, hell or high water. It's a very different energy, and what that can actually lend to all areas of your life and where it can take you in the future is quite astounding. You know, I can look at this for myself, but I invite you to look too. Go back maybe 20, 30 years. Would you have ever guessed that you would be where you are currently 20, 30 years ago? And that maybe I look at the things that I've created that are amazing, amazing. Like, wow, I never would have thought that. It also goes into the uh-ohs and the upsets that I've created too and went, wow, I never really thought I would have created that either. It can go both ways. But none of it's wrong because all of that gave you more information. It gave you more awareness, and it basically facilitated you into creating something new and different. That is the beauty of life and the life path if you're willing to be an experiment and you're willing to be an explorer upon that path. This is a very different way of looking at it. It is one that has a lighter touch to it. Again, we talk about lightening up, and lightening up isn't going on the light side, but it is going with enough light touch where you don't have to fight or struggle or prove or defend or work hard. You actually get to relax and play and experiment and trust the process that no matter what, you're moving in a new direction. And the things in your life that seem stuck will change. This in of itself for me is the energetic clarity. You become clear in what it is you desire and wanting something different. Not in the definition, but actually being clear in the things are moving ahead. Things are going to change, and truly that's what I'm asking for. And I'm willing to give up a little bit of my control and step out of my comfort zone and my box in order to allow that clarity and that trust to actually come in. Moving forward step by step that way, with wide eyes, with wide open heart, with wide open curiosity, is clarity at its finest. It's when you're standing on that cliff with those binoculars all crunched down, looking for where you need to go. That's actually the opposite of what creates clarity in your life. It's what we're taught, but it's not actually what is. So I invite you to really dig into this topic and to see what this can open for you. And I invite you to really step into being the explorer and step into the lab of your living. I'm so delighted about this whole topic and this exploration. I've been working with people from all walks of life in tons of different arenas on this for, years and years now. I've actually decided to create a community that lives online for this topic. Really and truly, blazing your new trail is getting clear on what it is that you desire and knowing how to create that. And again, that's not from a definition, it's from allowing yourself to go into the lab of your living. Play with different perspectives, pull on different people, learn new things, experiment with them in your own life, and to trust the process to allow it to unfurl and unravel and really create from there. Blaze, the online community, is $27 a month. It includes a live call with me where we go over things like this. We also have live Q&A and personal facilitation. And then we're also going to have home play, different exercises to get you out of your box, put you in the way of possibilities, and allow yourself in a safe, accessible way to start experimenting with something new and different. Along that line comes clarity. Along that line comes trust in yourself and your ability to create something different. And along that line, bigger than anything, comes the faith and that bigger trust that the process, the life path for you, will lead you in a direction that is greater if you're willing to allow it. And if you're willing to truly engage and create it as such. Doors are open. They'll be closing shortly. It's open this week and it won't be open again until 2020. I will put the link to join us in the show right up. Blaze, how to create what is next with you with clarity, courage, and outrageous fun is an amazing opportunity to dive into this deeper with other like-minded individuals and led by me. So come and play. What if clarity was something totally different than what you thought it was? And what if playing with it and experimenting with it in this way is what would create greater for you in every walk and area of your life? It is possible. I've done it before, so have you. It's just a matter of retroflecting on that. And if you're ready to dive in more, reach out for the support, reach out for the possibilities and the information to guide you along that way. Have an amazing week. And as always, I will chat with you next Tuesday.